this filly by Sadler Maker, trained again by Willie Mullins. 4 doesn't run. She was brilliant, of course, here yesterday, George Girl. 5, Let's Dance for Ruby Walsh, again for Willie Mullins. And 6, Tuckeroro is the outsider of the party, Tom Lee. The mount of Jack Kennedy. Apples Jade put in 5 to 4 on. Easy enough to back.
Well, as befits a race of this stature, you want the big guns turning up. And here we've got this feeling of a decider, really, because you've got the Triumph Hurdle 1-2 from Cheltenham, Ivanovic Gorbatov, and indeed Apples Jade. But of course, those placings were reversed at Aintree last time. Which way will it pan out this afternoon? Tricky to weigh up. And actually, you'd be slightly alarmed if you dived in and taken the 1-2 overnight about Apples Jade, because Apples Jade drifting now out to 4-5 in the betting ring. Also a big shift on the betting exchanges, shunted out 1.86 currently the price, so just shorter than 10 to 11. So you can see that price was significantly too short in the eyes of punters. By contrast, Ivanovic Gorbatov, flat the last day, looked to have used up too much petrol in that fantastic display at Cheltenham. He's been very well backed, 3-1 into 5-2, and shortening up now into 9-4. Let's Dance has got work to do to try and bridge the gap with a couple of pieces of form with the Principals at around about 6-1, and bigger prices the other two. But fascinating contest this. It's one each. Obviously Ivanovic Gorbatov much too good at Cheltenham. It was the other way around at Aintree. Which way does it pan out? The market support, and this is fascinating actually watching this, Apples Jade heading out, could even touch even money. We didn't anticipate that last night. Ivanovic Gorbatov very much, that's where the confidence is, 5-2.
Interesting, isn't it, Davey? It is. I mean, there's only 5 of them. 3 of them are fillies, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I'm not a huge fan of these juvenile races, to be honest. I think they're kind of second-rated flat horses. Now, some of these would be national hunt bred, like the likes of Apples Jade is by Sadler Maker, and you know, it's the French influence coming in. But look, it's a competitive race. But if Apples Jade turns up the same filly she turned up in Aintree, it will be a stroll in the park for her, really.
We're going to look at them now. This is Cap Dubois. This is her Irish debut, and her Irish debut in a Grade 1. She has won her only start over hurdles, and that was at Cannes back before Christmas. She's obviously dead interesting, but she's probably third best of the Mullins horses in this race. There's number 2, Ted.
Yeah, he was a good, impressive winner of the Triumph. I thought when I saw him win at Leopardstown early on, I thought he'd win the Triumph. Then a little disappointing when he got beat at Leopardstown again, but he came back to show his true worth when he won the Triumph. Likes a bit of nice ground. He won't appreciate any more rain that falls. He's a quick horse. Got cheek pieces on him today.
Apples Jade, number 3, she was runner-up in the Triumph 2, Ivan Grobovich, and made amends for that in Aintree in some style. She's favourite, and the drop of rain will be a huge help to her.
And Let's Dance, Ruby's mount, this daughter of Polyglot. She's a good sort, but she's got a little bit to find on the book. She's a 5-1 shot, 4th behind Ivan Gorbachev at Cheltenham, and runner-up to him at Leopardstown at Christmas, and in between, again at Leopardstown, was a good 3rd behind Footpad. Interesting runner she is.
Number 6 is Tuckeroro, Punchestown filly, Jack Kennedy on board, Gordon Elliott. She's 4 to Slow Motion at Ferry House, and Slow Motion didn't advertise the form there a few moments ago. She's got plenty to do. She's going to worry these. Plenty to find, I should say, not to do. There's Apple Jade. Don't think I saw a 4-year-old quite as dominant as she was as I saw at Liverpool. 41 lengths is an awful distance to beat others by.
Yeah, I think she was very impressive. She jumped fierce well and travelled fierce well, and you know, the longer the straight was, the further she was going to go clear.
Like if she's as good as that, yeah.
Look at it. Look how she wins.
Yeah, I mean, if
she had him well cooked turning in as well. You know, it was only a matter who was going to be second after that. But she's running away down to this is the last or the second last. She's absolutely running. Stands outside, away with her brain, squeezes her away there, and she just keeps reaching for the ground. She's a lovely filly, and I'd say the bit of juice in the ground definitely helps her, Ted.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Now the ones behind, either they all had a stinker on the day, or she's a super filly. I don't know. But if she's as good as that, like, she'll win again.
No, she will for sure. She's going to be very hard to beat here today, either way. But it's very hard to win a race that far.
Yeah. Liverpool funny is a long old straight, and they get going early in it. You'd often see huge results now, not that far. I mean, Any Power beat the horse yesterday, second 15 lengths, like, and just sometimes I remember Don Run winning 25 or 30 lengths there one day. Sure, they're all good animals, but they won a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
The jockeys are coming into the parade ring, and they have all got mascots with them. This is Family Day here at Punchestown, and everybody entering into it. Willie Mullins coming through, and
hard to know which one is the mascot there. Hard to know which one is the mascot. The mascot's about the same age as Jack.
Exactly. Davey, it's a great end to the season, isn't it?
That's marvellous. Punchestown put up a great show here, and jockeys come here, we enjoy it, and they're going to have a bit of a party tonight and let their hair down, and thankfully we get a day off tomorrow and back into it again on Monday in Down Royal. But Punchestown is it's a great end to the season. It's a proper end to the season, you know.
You don't remember, Davey, when the season used to end at Christmas. And it's like it really wasn't. It was a yearly thing, but the season wasn't. It was only get halfway through. Like you'd be off again New Year's Day.
That's
like
right.
It was a mix and gather. It's great when they change it around to start and end like at the right time of the year.
I personally think that there should be maybe a little bit longer between the start, the finish, and the start.
A couple of weeks even.
It would do no harm. I have a family now, and I'd love to spend a bit of time with them, but unfortunately I can't. And people say, look, you can go away if you want, but that's not fair either. I have to earn a few quid too, and I don't want to leave other lads take me rides.
Yeah.
It just would be a couple of weeks off, or a week or 10 days even, wouldn't be any harm.
It would bring the hunger back for people too. If they missed the racing there for a couple of weeks, it wouldn't do any harm to bring it back to a festival like Killarney or something. There'd be a bit of hype to it as well.
But I mean, we've always had mixed meetings through the summer. In England, they closed down completely for a good while, didn't they?
About 2 months.
All of 2 months.
Right through May and June. Started again in the middle of July there, what they call the summer.
Down in Newton Abbot.
But they had a couple of months of a closure.
Apple's Jade being mounted by Brian.
Isn't it amazing the way Willie's horses can just stroll around the parade ring so relaxed?
Yeah.
Like there was a big thing with Ruby yesterday in the champion hurdle that he was able to ride her whatever way he wanted it because she was so relaxed, and it's a huge asset to a jockey for that to happen. And Gordon's as well the same. They take it all in well.
You do, yeah. And Willie's horse, you see when he brings them up to the colour there in the box, they come off of there, there's hardly a bead of sweat on them. They stroll around there. They're well-travelled, well-handled horses. Obviously a good environment at home. Rarely are they, as you say, on their old toes, sweating and fretting. And
it's a huge help for a rider.
Brian, you got some betting news for us.
It's just interesting watching the pictures here, which we can see on our screen, Robert, how much more relaxed Ivanovic Gorbatov is today in comparison to Aintree, where he really got boiled over, and might have been one of the reasons why he was beaten so far on that occasion by Apple Jade. First time cheek piece this afternoon, leaving the parade ring. That being said, he's a 5-2 shot in the ring. Tom looking at the exchanges as I speak. Apple Jade 11-8 on. David Power betting 6-4 on. Tom, are the exchanges following a similar pattern?
Yeah, as you were, 4-5, 3-1. So that support for Ivanovic Gorbatov, perhaps not as strong as you were. What we should notice is that number 5, Let's Dance, Willie Mullins, Ruby Walsh. We had a shock result in the first of our Grade 1s at 350. That was the 16-1 shot for Willie Mullins. White out, and this Let's Dance was 8-1 in the offices this morning. In now to 9-2 on the track. So definitely the value hunters, they want to be with number 5. That's Let's Dance.
Yes, this is going to be an absolutely fascinating race with Apple's Jade and, of course, Ivanovic Gorbatov, who looks absolutely brilliant in the paddock. I've just caught up with Joseph O'Brien. He looks terrific. How is he?
Yeah, he's very well, Tracy. He's he was ran a little bit disappointing, I suppose, the last day, but he was good in Cheltenham, so he's in very good form. So we're hoping he can run a nice race.
How confident were you beforehand when he was beaten by Apple's Jade? A massive 41 lengths. I mean, it was quite bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a freaky performance out of filly, and you have to hand it to her. It was like if she puts in something like that again, we'll be looking at her tail again. But she we were happy, but we were a little bit worried about the ground. We weren't sure. Listen, I don't like using it as an excuse too much, but it's probably slow enough today. But listen, he's in good form, and he's well entitled to take his chance.
He certainly is. Now we got the result of the Guineas there, and Air Force Blue finished third, I believe, didn't he?
Air Vice Marshal finished third. So yeah, Air Force Blue was a bit disappointing. Yeah. So but listen, I wasn't talking to Dad or Ryan yet, so it was a disappointing run. I'm not sure what the ground and that was like. It looked a little bit slow. So
it did, didn't it?
Yeah. So we'll see in the next few days, I suppose.
All right. Yeah. Well, this will make up for it. Best of luck to you, Joseph.
Thanks,
good to talk to you. Thank you.
Spoilsport, always.
For our big one on the way down to the start, the big one in Newmarket, Davey, you had a peep at that, and we got a bit of a surprise. Not the winner that we wanted.
No, I suppose, look, they jumped off there. It looked like they went a really good gallop, and seemed from halfway Ryan was just kind of niggling away. Maybe he wasn't as happy as you'd like him to be in a Guineas, you know. But the winner seemed to toughen it out well to the line now, and Frankie, he's an amazing man. He always seems to come up with find a good one, you know.
By Paco Boy out of a Galileo mare.
Yeah, the name might put you off, but he's by Paco Boy. Yeah, he looked to have plenty of Galileo in him. Now he has plenty of chestnut. Paco Boy was a deep bay horse, wasn't he, Ted?
Yeah, it was.
Galileo Gold. Aurora very free.
Yeah, she's keen in a way. She wears a hood trying to settle her down, but she'll settle a bit better during the race. Now Jack knows her from being at home anyway, but just does a little circle there just to slow her down.
Andy's down there. Andy?
Yeah, the sun has come out and the horses are starting to shine underneath it. Good few of them coming down keen, as you mentioned there, and a few of these are keen runners, so it will be interesting. There could be a lot of pace on, and a few taking each other on. Brian Cooper said that he'll probably make it, indicated that he mightn't have much choice in Apple's Choice, but Cap Dubois that you see just in front of you there, he made the running on his last start when he won at Cannes-sur-Mer, and Tocororo, another keen one there, wearing a hood and a tongue tie to calm it down and help its breathing, but I don't think that will be aiming to make the running anyway. Jack Kennedy there hasn't too much Grade 1 experience. He hasn't ridden a Grade 1 winner yet anyway. I just noticed Ruby Walsh is his 10th ride of the week, 10th in a Grade 1, so Grade 1 Ruby is smiling at me over there. He's had 3 winners so far, and 4 Grade 1s out of 10 rides would be a fair total for the week if he can pull this one off.
There he is. Let's dance.
You're fitting for the year that's in it with David Bowie passing.
Yeah.
I tell you, dance many a
what a loss, eh, Davey?
You dance many a dance to that, Robert, in your day, I'd say.
Indeed.
Be interested to see Willie's first time out in Ireland, the top horse by Snowcap.
Yeah.
Is there much support for him, is there?
No, there's not any money in the ring from anywhere. There was no money for Whiteout either, 16-1 on that one.
True.
They're off and running.
Towards the first in the AES champion 4-year-old hurdle, and Apple's Jade, who won by half the track at Aintree, out in front from Ivanovic Gorbatov, 41 lengths behind the leader in the Aintree race. He's running in second, and then there's a gap to Let's Dance, followed by Cap Dubois and Tocororo at the back of the field as they come up past the stands. Apple's Jade by about 4 under Brian Cooper from in second, Ivanovic Gorbatov and Barry Geraghty. 6-length break then to Let's Dance, Ruby Walsh, followed by Cap Dubois, ridden by Paul Townend, and Tocororo and Jack Kennedy bringing up the rear as they race up towards the second flight. Apple's Jade in the lead from Ivanovic Gorbatov, a gap to Let's Dance and Cap Dubois, and they're followed by Tocororo as they round the top turn, the highest point of the course, and going towards number 3. And Apple's Jade strides along, 2.5 to the good from Ivanovic Gorbatov in second place. Stood off that, the leader, and third is Let's Dance, and then comes Cap Dubois, and Tocororo is last of the quintet as they race down the hill. The next will be number 4, and Apple's Jade, Ivanovic Gorbatov, the Triumph Pearl winner, in second. Let's Dance is about 3 lengths back, then Cap Dubois and Tocororo, in the similar colours to the leader, back at the tail of the field. At number 4, and Apple's Jade over, jumps it well, Ivanovic Gorbatov in second, followed 3 lengths away by Let's Dance. Cap Dubois in the pale green cap, and the white cap at the back is Tocororo as they swing into the back straight, heading towards the 5th flight. And the leader by 3 is Apple's Jade from, in second place, Ivanovic Gorbatov. 2.5 lengths away in third is Let's Dance, followed by Cap Dubois, and finally Tocororo as they meet the first of the 2 in the back straight. Apple's Jade in the lead from Ivanovic Gorbatov in second. Just 2 lengths between them now. Apple's Jade over Ivanovic Gorbatov. Bit flat-footed there was Let's Dance, then Cap Dubois, and finally Tocororo as they come towards 4 out. Apples Jade, Ivanovic Gorbatov remains a close second. A gap then to Let's Dance and Cap du Bois. As they clear that flight, Tokorora brings up the rear. Racing into the turn now, taking them on the approach to 3 out. And Apples Jade and Brian Cooper lead. Barry Geraghty on Ivanovic Gorbatov. Cap du Bois has moved into third now, past Sable Companion Let's Dance. As they come up now towards the last half mile on the third last flight. Apples Jade, Ivanovic Gorbatov close in second, then Cap du Bois in third. Apples Jade over from Ivanovic Gorbatov, then Cap du Bois and Let's Dance as they race on now towards the second last, and it's Apples Jade out in front from Ivanovic Gorbatov in second, and they're clear of Let's Dance, and over it's Apples Jade from Ivanovic Gorbatov, who's been ridden to try and close the gap. They're well clear of Let's Dance as they stretch around the final bend. Apples Jade leads by over 2.5 lengths. Under pressure, Ivanovic Gorbatov. They're clear of Let's Dance down the straight towards the final flight, and Apples Jade all the way leads by 4 to 5 lengths now from Ivanovic Gorbatov. Let's Dance is staying on behind him, but Apples Jade is well clear down to the final flight in this champion 4-year-old hurl. Apples Jade and Brian Cooper in the lead, over safely, clear of Ivanovic Gorbatov. It's not going to be 41 lengths today, but it's going to be a wide enough margin. Another very impressive performance from Apples Jade as they go to the line. A very easy win indeed, and so a race for second. Apples Jade has won the race, but in the race for second, Let's Dance was flying and might have just nabbed Ivanovic Gorbatov.
That was a sublime performance from a high-class 4-year-old. Apples Jade won by a country street and entry, and confirming her superiority as a real filly out of the top drawer.
Yeah, I tell you, look, this week is some advertisement for these fillies. You know, Brian done the right thing. He let her sail away there when the good even gallop in front. She jumped brilliant for him. I'd say the drop of rain helped her as well, but she was very impressive now, and Barry tried to keep tabs on her. He was lying into her the whole way, but you know,
some clash now. You see these fillies meet. Vroom Vroom Mag and her and Annie Power
and George Girl. Jeez, I tell you, that'll be some filly race.
There'll be some race of these fillies meet. You know what I mean?
I tell you, you know, you get a good filly. You can't, when they start, a good filly starts improving and like that, they're a dangerous thing. And
I read in the Irish Field this morning, one of the breeders wants more weight for the fillies to get. He's not satisfied with £7. Could you imagine trying to give her £7 every day of the week?
I'd say £7 enough from now, but at the same time they probably do deserve it. I know they've won emphatically this week, but on the general scheme of things, a filly is, you know,
it's important to see them winning, yet when you go to the sale with a filly, not many trainers want to pull them out.
No,
but that'll change too, Brian. You know what I mean? Like bar they're blind. Sure, it's just a thing with fillies. You know, we're breeding horses there for as long as we're going racing, and fillies are always the same. But to be fair to the ITBA, they're trying their damnedest to increase the value of a filly, and it seems to be working now.
But you as a trainer, Ted, and you go out and trying to get orders, it's very hard to sell an owner a filly, isn't it? They want a gelding.
Oh yeah, they don't want a gelding, and they don't want a filly. They wouldn't mind it. Everyone would want one like this, but I mean, like,
they're rare jewels.
Rare jewels is right. It's hard to sell a filly. You couldn't sell a filly, and they've done their best. Like, they've put on all sorts of races for them. They've given them a £7 allowance. They've races confined to fillies. I mean, like, I think a lot of the breeders whinge about the fillies not being well enough looked after. I think they're plenty well enough.
But they should be well looked after, though, because without the fillies you can't have the gelding.
But you can't have fillies winning races that are not quality Grade 1 races. By all means, this filly took on the geldings, but when you have a race confined to fillies only and make it a Grade 1, like the Guineas or something like that, I mean, you just can't keep on trying to make things for people. Soon you'll have fellas that want a race for grey mares only, or mares born in Munster, or mares born in Ulster. And somewhere you have to have it open up.
Or Cork, because we do like to look after our own down there.
I think you're taking it to the extreme, but it's all about opinions, folks. That's Brian Cooper, and he's had a good season as well. Won the Gold Cup with Don Cossack. But Robert is with the winning trainer, I'd imagine, Willie Mullins.
I am. We're watching the head on there. Willie, she's very, very good.
She's very good. She had a very hard race in Aintree, and I was wondering would it impact on her today, but it didn't seem to.
How good could she be?
Well, she looks very, very good because she won at Christmas, and then we had an awful time with her after Christmas. She was stiff and sore every day of the week. We couldn't really train her. She ran well in Cheltenham and then has come back flew in an Aintree and confirmed it here today. She must be very good.
How did you come about her?
I'm sure Pierre and Harold bought her in France. I can't remember.
She's Grade 1 win number 34 for the season.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's wonderful. Well done, Willie. Many congratulations.
Cheers. Thanks.
Oh, it's some performance from this filly, Apples Jade, the filly by Saddler Maker. What even makes it more remarkable is that lots of these horses have come from the flat. This filly hasn't. It's only her fifth run in total. So you'd imagine there's huge improvement in this filly by Saddler Maker. Let's have a look at her page. She's by, as I said, by Saddler Maker, was by Saddler's Wells. Stands for 2,000. What value he is. He'd be a lot more than 2,000 if he was standing here in Ireland. He's the son of Saddler's Wells. I know a lot of Irish breeders have sent mares across to France this year to be covered by Saddler Maker out of the Nikos mare Apples Forever course. And Nikos is the sire of horses of the quality of Syncos and Masterminded and Eric's Charm. But Willie Mullins congratulating Michael O'Leary and vice versa, Ted. But there is just no knowing how good this filly could be.
Oh, she could be anything. I mean, it's like Vroom Vroom Mag yesterday. I mean, if Annie Power was around, we wouldn't even know how good Vroom Vroom Mag was. And the same with Annie Power. If Faheen wasn't around, she wouldn't win the champion hurdle.
But it's so difficult when they go into their 5-year-old career after coming out of as a 4-year-old. Not many 5-year-olds win the champion hurdle. But I suppose the good thing here is that they're different owners, the likes of Annie Power and Apples Jade, so that will they go to champion hurdle group with this lady?
You wouldn't know. There'll be a lot of water going to the bridge before then. They'll have them well dipped before Cheltenham comes next March.
Yeah, she just hit me as maybe a filly that would stay a little bit further than 2 miles now. I thought maybe she'd step up a bit.
The mayor's race there, 2.5 mile next year. There's a mayor's race for in Cheltenham.
Yeah, and she'll be hard to beat in that now. But saying that, the way the fillies are going, it could be a very, very competitive race.
Bookmakers quoting 8-1 for the champion hurdle. You wouldn't be rushing out of that?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't have. If Faheen was alive, I wouldn't be rushing her anyway.
Faheen 2-1 at the minute for the champion hurdle.
Yeah.
Any power.
Well, I think anyone that backs a horse now in the champion hurdle next March.
They've little to be doing.
Yeah,
they've little to be doing.
I think he'll lose these town halls. I'd love to see him getting cleaned.
I think that's an old fad that the bookies made up there.
No one does that. Backs horse to 2-1 with a race meeting next March.
It's alright if you have a fiver on a big accum there to get $500,000 or something. That's understandable, alright, to lose a fiver, but I doubt any fella take that too seriously.
I don't think we even should be promoting the bookmakers. They put up that sort of a price, 2-1 next March.
We didn't mention any of their names. We agree
we
with
won't.
And there's the winning groom. Unfortunately, we don't know his name, but there's Michael O'Leary and Anita, they've had great success. That Don Cossack was winning the Gold Cup, winning the Grand National, ruled the world, and they spend some money, Davy and Ted, at the sales and out at the Point of Pints as well.
They do, but Eddie is a fabulous judge of a horse there, and Michael is full confidence in Eddie, and he, they work fierce well between them. They do a super job, and to be fair, they love their racing and they support plenty of trainers.
I'd say Pierre probably bought this filly in France, though.
He could have, yeah.
We'll go to Brian Cooper. He's chatting with Tracy.
We're just discussing this filly. I mean, she just was sublime, absolutely brilliant. And as you said today, she really had to do the donkey work.
Yeah, look, I didn't want to make her running, but she's the lads were only going to follow me, so we wanted a true run race. So I said, look, she jumps very well. We might as well keep it simple, and she enjoyed it out there, and she's one to look forward to now.
Absolutely amazing. And I mean, she had a really tough race in Aintree, and to come back and do that like that, I mean, she could be anything.
Yeah, especially for a filly, she had it was probably the tougher race in Cheltenham. She battled hard in Cheltenham. She won kind of on the bridle in Aintree, but
I meant Cheltenham, sorry.
But travelling over and back and then over and back again, and to come here in such a short space of time, it's very smart. She's probably as good as two more as I've ridden anyway.
Because we've seen it during the week with some of these horses that did the 2 festivals across the water, and it just, sort of had too long a season. I mean, she must be as tough as it can.
Definitely, it looks as if the real good ones are coming back and winning. So hopefully, look, she's a filly, so hopefully she'll train on next year, and she's one to look forward to.
It's quite straightforward, is she, to ride?
Yeah, jumps very well, loves jumping. She takes you to her hurdles, and she's plenty speed as well. So she's one of the lucky ones to be riding her.
Absolutely, and you've got a Rogue Angel Irish Grand National winner in the next.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully I can